If you work on a John Deere assembly line today, you are training your own replacement. In 2024, Deere cut 2,167 American jobs across Iowa and Illinois. Then they invested $55 million building a brand new factory in Mexico. They did not close those lines because the company was failing. They posted $10.2 billion in net income that year. A record. They closed those lines because Mexican labor is cheaper. And the CEO who signed the order collected $26.8 million doing it. Waterloo, Iowa built John Deere. For generations, families in that town put their children through school, paid off their homes, and retired with pensions because of one company. Fathers taught sons how to weld tractor frames on the Waterloo assembly floor. The green and yellow logo was not a brand. It was a birthright. That birthright has been revoked. Since 2015, Deere has eliminated more than 4,500 American jobs. In 2024 alone, they fired 963 workers in Waterloo. They gutted Davenport. They stripped Dubuque. They hollowed out Ottumwa, Moline, and East Moline. The layoff notices hit Waterloo 6 separate times in a single year. Every few months, another wave of workers walked out carrying a cardboard box. But that is not the worst part. The worst part is where the work went. In June 2024, Deere announced they would relocate production of mid-frame skid steer loaders and compact track loaders from Dubuque Works to Ramos Arizpe, Mexico. 225 jobs vanished. Not because the machines were obsolete, not because the workers were incompetent, because a welder in Ramos Arizpe costs a fraction of what a welder in Dubuque earns. Then they doubled down. They committed $55 million to build an entirely new manufacturing facility in Nuevo Leon, Mexico. The first plant in the country dedicated exclusively to Deere construction equipment. Mini track loaders, mini wheel loaders, machines that used to roll off American floors. They claim this is about market growth. They say Mexico is the second largest consumer of Deere construction equipment in Latin America, with 76% growth since 2022. That is the corporate press release. That is a lie. This is not about growing a market. This is about abandoning the workforce that built a $60 billion empire and replacing it with the cheapest labor available. And today, I am going to show you exactly how much they made while gutting American communities, and exactly what it cost the people who actually built the machines. Follow the money. In fiscal year 2023, Deere and Company posted $10.2 billion in net income, not revenue, profit, after every expense, every tax, every overhead cost. $10.2 billion. The highest in the company's 187-year history. That same year, CEO John May collected $26.8 million in total compensation. The following year, he collected $27.8 million. His pay is 190 times the median Deere employee salary. One man earns in a single year what 190 of his own workers make combined. But the CEO check is pocket change compared to the real extraction. Over the past 2 decades, Deere has funneled $43.6 billion into stock buybacks and dividends. In 2023 alone, they spent $7.2 billion repurchasing their own stock. They did not invest that money in Waterloo. They did not use it to retool Dubuque. They did not rebuild the factories that made them rich. They handed it directly to Wall Street. Then they told the workers there was not enough money for their jobs. The United Auto Workers did not stay silent. UAW Local 838. President Tim Cummings called the cuts exactly what they are, an insult to the working class people of Iowa and Illinois. The national UAW statement was blunt. There is no need for Deere to kill good American jobs and outsource them to Mexico for cheap labor. They are right. There is no financial need. There is no operational need. There is only greed. Here is the math that Deere does not want you to see. $10.2 billion in profit, $26.8 million for the CEO, $43.6 billion for shareholders, $55 million for a factory in Mexico, and a pink slip for the welder in Waterloo who spent 23 years building John Deere tractors. That is not a business decision. That is extraction. They are mining the American worker until the vein runs dry, then moving the operation south of the border. Think about what Waterloo looks like right now. 963 layoffs in one town in 1 year. That is not a restructuring, that is an economic demolition. Those are mortgage payments that will not get made. Those are kids who will not go to college. Those are small businesses on Main Street that will shut down because the customers vanished overnight. Deere did not just fire workers. They abandoned the community that gave them everything. So what do you do when the company your grandfather built turns its back on your town? You fight. You support right to repair legislation in every state. You make it illegal for manufacturers to lock you out of your own equipment. You buy from competitors who still build on American soil. You demand that your state legislators hold corporations accountable when they accept millions in local tax incentives and then ship the jobs overseas. Because that is exactly what happened. Deere took state and local tax breaks to keep those Iowa facilities running. They took the money, then they took the jobs. You support the UAW. You support every worker who walks a picket line against corporate greed. You make it expensive for these companies to treat American labor like a disposable input on a spreadsheet. And you remember what John Deere actually is now. It is not your grandfather's tractor company. It is not a family brand. It is a $60 billion extraction machine that will squeeze every dollar of value from your labor, hand it to shareholders, and fire you the moment someone cheaper exists across a border. The machines still say John Deere on the side. The workers who built them are filing for unemployment in Waterloo. If you are learning something from this, hit subscribe. I cover the corporate scams and financial traps hidden inside the heavy equipment industry every single week. Now, Deere is not the only manufacturer running this playbook. The exact same extraction scheme is being used right now to destroy the last independent mechanics and equipment owners in America. If you want to see how they made it illegal to fix your own machine and the one loophole that still works, click the video on your screen right now.